Miss Shung's Ruby tune.
That's so funny.
Here we go. These will be short and to the point here. The first one, write addition on your paper. We didn't do addition, did we? Perfect. You may or may not remember these, but that's why we review here. On an addition problem, the answer to an addition problem is called what, Philip? Ansel?
Some.
Yes, sum is the answer. And the two things that you add together, you probably don't remember this, are what, Morgan? Again, we don't say it very often. That's why we take the notes in case somebody asks you somewhere along the way. Emma Kuchek. They are the add-ons. The add-ons together, they give you the sum. Good for that? Great. New piece of note paper. Subtraction. This one would get the best of them here. If you have a subtraction problem, 8 minus 6 is 2. Just you guys don't brush. I would be willing to bet that many of you know that the answer to a division problem in the mathematical technical world, Josh Erfmeyer, is the
Difference.
Yep, the difference. But I am going to be willing to bet that you probably don't know what the other two things are at, unless you're looking in your book, as Holly's going to try to look very smart. Kendall, how?
Never mind, that's for dividing.
Yes, never mind, because we're not dividing. Anybody want to take a shot at it? You generally wouldn't know unless you looked in your book. The top number, Holly, is called the minuend. And the one that is doing, that's subtracting from the minuend is called the subtrahend. And again, I guess if you're ever on, are you smarter than a 5th grader? This question might come up. It's one of those obscure things there. Please note though, and we'll talk about this a little later, but you also be able to, you need to be able to recognize them if the problem were written like this. Okay, this is the minuend subtrahend difference. Okay, you need to make sure you know when you see that. Question? Did I make a mistake? I've made mistakes before. I was wrong. Oh, wait a minute. I thought I was wrong once, but I was wrong. Flipping on to a division problem.
Now I got it.
Now we're getting to some highfalutin stuff here. And remember, there's 3 different ways that we write division. You do the normal way, which maybe is this. 8 divided by 2 is 4. But you can also write it like this. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And you can also write it as 8 divided by 2 is 4. 3 different ways to write the whole division thing. And you need to kind of just keep that in all order here. What are the names of those numbers that are doing all the work there? The answer to a division problem is, Mackenzie?
Quotient.
It is the quotient. Which would mean this is the quotient, this is the quotient, and this is the quotient. Correct? Absolutely. Okay. The one that is doing the dividing, the 2, and the 2, is called, okay, it is the divisor. It's also the thing in your car that sometimes your parents keep their sunglasses, the visor. It was worth about that many chuckles. Divisor, divisor, divisor. I probably don't want to get on. Okay, and the one that gets the dividing of is, Grace, the dividend. Dividend, you don't have multicolors here, that you might get a little confused. Those are the parts of a division problem. And then last but not least, you set a piece of paper. In a multiplication problem, you have something that looks like 6 times 8 is 48, or 6 times 8 is 48. The answer in multiplication is, Gabby Barons? Yes, the product. And just like with addition, these two things have the same name. Two things that get multiplied together to give you a product are called, Kyle Westfall?
Factor.
Yeah, factors. So you're not going to correct me on the 48 over there, huh? Perfect. Everybody good with that? Now, with that being said, where did you go, Bob? I don't really know where to put this. Let's just write it there as a multiplication thing. It isn't going to matter. Here is an example problem they're going to give you. What is the quotient when the product of 3 and 6 is divided by the sum of 3 and 6? Okay, now please understand this, children. Here's one of those places where if you just look at that problem and read it, your mind starts going a bazillion different ways because there's like 8 or 9 or there's probably 3 steps or whatever it is. You have to take it apart piece by piece and look at it step by step. The first thing they're asking you for is a quotient. Okay, so the first thing you should think is, okay, there's division in here. Okay, what am I dividing? I am dividing the product of 3 and 6. And you know what that is. I mean, product means multiplying. I am dividing the product of 3 and 6 by the sum of 3 and 6. You should not try to do all of that in your head. You should write it down piece by piece and then look at it again and say, well, now it's not such a bad problem because it's just going to be 18 divided by 9. And the answer to that obviously would be 2. Okay, you just need to sit down, write it down piece by piece, and then try to figure it out. Don't try to sit there and do it all in your head and go, oh, the quotient, product, divided, sum, blah, 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 blah. Are you good with that? You kind of get the gist of that? Perfect. Because that leads us to our next little spiel. On top, write the word properties. properties. Actually, I'm going to do this.